Hello everyone, this is Suneve and I'm coming to you with You'll Learn to Love Me, Yandere Masky, ex-reader by FluffyWubs. We're going to be ending it with the Christmas special of this series. Hey, a soft-spoken voice rang softly into my ear as I felt someone's cold nose being buried into the crook of my neck. I shiver a bit, ducking down further into the warmth of the covers. A pair of lips shortly connect to the back of my neck before I feel a hand ruffling the top of my head, most likely making my hair even more of a mess than it already is. I grumble a bit before turning face to face with my partner. The well-known cold-hearted killer that I've been stuck with for a year now flashed me a kind, loving smile. A smile that greeted me pretty much every morning that I've woken up next to him. He caresses my face, rubbing his thumb across my cheek before placing a kiss onto the tip of my nose. "Merry Christmas, sunshine," he speaks up softly. His eyes were sparkling with delight as he stared deeply into my own. "Christmas? Christmas? It's Christmas? What?" I rub my tired eyes, sitting up right in my spot. Masky smiles, letting out a faint chuckle as he supports himself by propping up an elbow onto his pillow. "Take a look outside, will ya?" Masky suggests. I blink out of sheer confusion before swinging my feet off the bed, brushing the warm covers off of my body. Slipping on my comfortable slippers, I drag myself over to the window and peek outside. The once dirty and musky brown dirt was completely replaced by such pure white, fluffy-looking snow. Fresh, crisp snow caked into the naked trees and onto the ground, making the forest we live in seem less eerie. "Snow," I utter out softly. And from the looks of it, the snow wasn't going to stop piling onto each other. Tiny snowflakes were still gently falling for the dim clouds up above, and I can't help but have a warm feeling wash over me. Watching the snow fall down slowly had me mesmerized, bring me back to the good old days. Oh, were there even any good old days? It's been so long I can barely remember, actually. Stunning, isn't it? A pair of strong arms wrap themselves around my waist as a chin is placed upon one of my shoulders. Snow is beautiful in so many ways. It reminds me of purity and innocence. He trails off slowly. I feel one of his hands lightly grip the bottom of my chin, moving my head to the side. "All those things remind me of you," he purrs. Masky leans in, making his lips brush over mine ever so slightly before I quickly retract my head in reflex. "Yeah," I simply reply, moving myself away from the window. "It truly is beautiful." I agree with the statement before clearing my throat and heading over to the bed. "Why don't you head downstairs?" I question as I grab an end of the bed sheets in my hand. "I'll make the bed this time." I forcibly smile as I start prepping the bed as neat as it used to be. Masky stares at me for a few seconds before letting out an almost inaudible sigh. "Sure, princess." He walks over to me and presses his lips against my temple for a few seconds. "I'll meet you downstairs," he states before simply walking out of the room without any other word. I unconsciously let out a sigh of relief, running a hand through my messy, tangled hair. No matter how many days, how many weeks, how many months, I don't think I can ever get fully used to being stuck with a murderer. After finishing making the bed, I make my way downstairs as promised. Not too surprisingly, Masky had already set the table with breakfast being ready to eat. Scrambled eggs with some bacon strips to go along with it. Simple and delicious, but not Christmas related. Oh well, not like Christmas would matter to someone like him. I sit down at the table with Masky sitting on the opposite side. I grab my fork and start poking it at the scrambled eggs before stuffing some in my mouth. Masky and I ate quietly for around 2 minutes before he decided to speak up. "So, I was thinking," he started as I was still stuffing my face with breakfast. I glanced over to him as a response, slightly cocking my head to the side questioningly as I chewed my food. Masky smiled, playing a bit with the food that laid on his plate, using his fork to flip his scrambled eggs back and forth. "Since it's Christmas, how about you and I do something together? I already have some plans in mind," he stated. I swallow my food before giving him a silent, confused-looking stare. "Plans?" I echo, furrowing my eyebrows slightly. Masky chuckles slightly, nodding his head. "Yes, plans. How about you and I go pick out a pine tree? We'll buy decorations for it and some other things, to make this place look a bit more—" He paused for a second. "Christmassy," he finishes. I can't help but stifle a laugh at the way he described it. "Christmassy," he says. Well, yeah, he has a point. Our place is not in the Christmas spirit at all. There's no warm Christmas vibe you usually get from a Christmas morning. Just a cold, ordinary-looking cabin in the middle of the forest. I scrape the last few bits of food off my plate and into my mouth as I look away from him, thinking mostly to myself. I mean, how bad could it be? "Okay, sure, when?" I question. "After breakfast," he states cheerfully along with a smile. This should be fun. It took a while before we got onto the road. I had to get ready and dress up warm, using layers and layers of clothes underneath my already thick jacket. I had a scarf that covered my mouth, some gloves, and a thick beanie that covered up my ears. Masky took a while to replace the usual motorcycle tires with ones that were proper to use on snow and ice, so that also cost us a bit of time. But before we knew it, we were already at the big mall we'd usually go to get our stuff. As soon as we stepped inside, we were greeted by a soft Christmas music ringing throughout the entire mall as shoppers walked back and forth with multiple bags hanging from their arms. The fountain that used to be in the middle of the entire mall was now replaced by a giant pine tree that reached up to the third floor of the mall itself, decorated with multiple Christmas balls, sparkly streamers, fake snow, and lights. At the peak of the tree was, of course, the traditional shining golden star, along with the fresh gingerbread cookie smell that came from the bakery made the entire setting feel complete. Yep, now this is Christmassy. Cute. I suddenly hear a voice beside me speak up. Turn my head to the side, I see Masky staring right at me with a stupid grin on his face, and I blink. What? I question. Masky smiles, rubbing his thumb along my knuckles. He was staring at that Christmas tree with such sparkly eyes, he points out. It's adorable. I feel my cheeks heat up just a bit. Was it really so obvious I was in awe because of a decorated tree? Yikes. I tug onto Masky's hand, pulling him along towards the shop, which had different sized pine trees inside and outside of the actual store. Let's just pick one out. Lights, ornaments, check. Tree, check. We decided to get a smaller pine tree than usual because we wouldn't ever be able to bring a big one on the motorcycle. Masky decided to also get a gingerbread house kit because he thought it would be a fun activity to do together. Whatever floats his boat, I guess. With all the decorations in a plastic bag and Masky holding on to the pine tree, we headed out of the mall. All that was left to do now was go back home. Surprise, surprise, I had to be the one holding on to the pine tree and the decorations on our way back home. I had the pine tree sitting on my lap sideways, which could potentially be dangerous if a car or something else sped by and hit the side of the pine tree. I'd surely get hurt. Thankfully, I made it out alive. Masky carried the pine tree along with the motorcycle into the garage as I went ahead and stepped onto the porch of the cabin, stomping the snow off my boots before unlocking the door and allowing myself in. I placed the plastic bag onto the couch before removing the scarf from my neck, the jacket following soon after. And I let out a sigh of satisfaction as Masky comes walking in with the pine tree in his arms, shutting the door behind him with his heel. He decides to place the tree somewhere next to the TV, which surprisingly ends up looking like a good spot. Ready to get those Christmas vibes going? Masky grins broadly. I faintly smile, nodding my head before ruffling my hands into the plastic bag, pulling out a plastic container with multiple Christmas balls inside and set them aside onto the couch. Good, let's just get some music started to get us in the mood. Masky decided to use his phone and put it on blast, playing some cliche Christmas songs that everyone would listen to yearly. I didn't mind, it sure got a bit of the Christmas mood going. I grabbed the long line of lights in the plastic bag, which was all tangled up together in a huge ball of wires, while Masky sprayed on some fake snow from a can onto the tree. I was busy trying to untangle the Christmas lights. It took longer than expected, but I succeeded soon enough, and I beamed proudly before dragging the line of lights with me, spreading it evenly across the entire tree so the small, colorful light bulbs covered every part. It certainly feels like some sort of deja vu as I'm decorating this tree. I'm not sure why. Oh well, no matter. After I finish spreading the lights around, Masky heads over and grabs the plastic container with Christmas balls I had placed onto the couch earlier. He takes a sweet time figuring out where to put them, so it doesn't seem like one side is more decorated than the other. In less than half an hour, we finished decorating the Christmas tree. Now all that was left was turning it on to see the results. Masky flipped the lights off on the cabin as I plugged in the plug to get the lights of the tree going. Multiple rainbow-colored lights flashed brightly, almost lighting up the entire room. I stepped back and take a look at our creation, watching how pretty it gleamed after our hard work. You did a great job, Masky chuckles, wrapping an arm around my waist and pulling me close to him. And I can't help but smile. You did too, I compliment back as Masky lightly squeezes my side. Come on, let's get that gingerbread house kit. We decided to keep the lights off and have the Christmas tree lights on, since it brightened up pretty much the entire room. At the moment, Masky and I were trying to construct this gingerbread house. Keyword, trying. My fingers are glazed with frosting as I tried to glue the roof together to the base of the house with the frosting, but it only kept slipping away. Masky continuously laughed at my poor attempts as he took the frosting bag from the table, and he shakes his head, clicking his tongue. Allow me to show you how a pro does it, he gloats as I proceed to lick the frosting off my fingers. Masky holds the two parts of the roof together, smothering the sides of the frosting as he keeps one hand to keep it steady. He slowly lets go of the roof, and to my surprise, it's actually still standing, and I scoff. Pure luck, making Masky chuckle. Sure, princess, sure. He smooches my forehead before handing me the frosting bag. You go ahead and decorate, I'll be back, he states as he stands up from the table, walking out of the living room. I hear him climb up the stairs before his footsteps become completely silent, and I wonder what he's doing. Oh well, I decorate the gingerbread house by myself, adding some windows with frosting, patterns on the roof, and using candy as a decor around the entire house. I ended up designing a cute little gingerbread man as well, giving him a little suit and a big happy smile to go along with it. And as I'm busy decorating, I suddenly hear Masky shout my name from upstairs. I'm dazed for a few seconds before I raise my voice to question. What? The response I get is rather quick as well. Can you come here for a second? I purse my lips, looking at my gingerbread house before getting up from my seat. It better not take long. I want to finish my gingerbread house as quick as possible. I make my way upstairs, seeing her bedroom door being the only room with the door open. And just as I'm about to walk in, Masky stands in my way, leaning against the doorframe with a smug grin spread across his lips. That grin is up to no good, that's for sure. What's with your stupid grin? I comment blatantly, which only makes Masky chuckle. I see his eyes dart up for a moment, signaling me to look up as well, and I cautiously look up only to see a mistletoe hanging above our heads. That sneaky little... His fingers suddenly grip my chin, lifting my face closer to his. You know the rules, don't you, sunshine? He grins. I sure do want to wipe that smug grin off his stupid face. I scoff, feeling the blood rush to both of my cheeks as I shrug my shoulders. Sure, whatever, I guess, make it quick. I quickly blurt out. Masky chuckles slightly before leaning down, locking his lips with mine. One of his hands rests on my lower back as the other one grips the back of my head, deepening the kiss as much as he could. I'm a bit flustered, not gonna lie, and once he pulls away, he still has that stupid smug grin. Cutie, he comments, ruffling the top of my head. Merry Christmas, sunshine. Let's finish that gingerbread house, yeah? He states confidently before he walks past me, heading downstairs. I swallow in embarrassment before turning back around to head back down. Yeah, I utter. Merry Christmas. That is the end of this whole series. I do apologize for it taking so long, but this is the end of it. I am currently looking at a few stories right now. I'm looking at a Tiki Toby one, and I'm currently looking at a Jeff the Killer one. But I'm trying to find another long one we could do. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And I'm going to try to get back into the spin of doing these on time and actually getting these out. But I hope you guys have an absolutely lovely day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.